What is up, and welcome to the One Pride Podcast. We took all things Detroit Lions news and rumors, and we give you the Lions info. Always, that's what we do on here, even in the offseason, as we are doing in mid-May right now. We're getting closer, though, to mini camps and then training camp, and then, of course, the 2024 NFL season, where hopefully the Lions will host a Lombardi Trophy. Everybody, welcome to the chat. We got Man Bear Pig in here, Lisa DeLorenzo, Chrome, James Janella, Jason Cooper, Dragon Fan, Tim Shift God, 9 Drinks, Kurt Kasprick, all in the building. Big M just jumped in here as well. So appreciate you guys coming in. Brendan Miller, great to see you as well in the chat. What up, official Savage in this bad boy? So Brad Holmes came out and called the Jared Goff extension a priority. A lot of people freaked when we didn't sign Jared Goff after Penei Sewell and Amon-Ra St. Brown, thinking that it's over. And I just said, no, it's going to happen. It will happen sometimes this offseason. Just haven't happened yet. And Geek just came out and said, it's his high priority, get Jared Goff signed. So it's clear as day, Jared Goff is going to be signed to a contract extension. When is it going to happen? I have no idea. How much is it going to be? I don't think any of us knows. I'm thinking, look, if if Lions may want 45, then Jared Goff's camp may want 50. Maybe you settle somewhere in the middle right there. But either way, I do trust Brad Holmes' ability, just like Shift says there, to make the right choice. He's been doing a lot of these right choices, and it's made this team much, much improved. And look, Jared Goff, is he Patrick Mahomes? No, he's not. But he is a good quarterback. So you bring him back here maybe for a 4-year extension, something like that, and here's they got a year left, and that will take him to about 34 years old. That would be a good contract for the length of year, as we currently don't know exactly when, or how much money it's going to be for the Jared Goff contract. But are you guys excited that he's going to get paid? It's a high priority. Put it in the comment section. Do you want him to get extended? Y for yes and for no. And while you guys do that, at 3 o'clock, I will be live on the Huge Show for a couple hours, 96.1 FM, West Michigan. As soon as I'm done streaming here, I'm actually driving up to Grand Rapids and then getting ready for the show. And I have no idea what we're going to be talking about, but I'm sure they're going to be talking about training camp. We're going to be talking about free agency, all of that. So I'll be live on ESPN Radio here very, very shortly. So get ready for that. Now, Kurt says, yes, I want him extended. Yep, Bo Booth, agreed. Patrick Mahomes is the only Patrick Mahomes, 100%. And we got Vaughn says, the Bears, Goff wants to be a Lion. I'm not overly worried. Pay the man. So a lot of people are agreeing right now that we want him to get paid. And I do believe you're going to get what you want. We just don't know exactly when. Now let's get into the funny thing that occurred yesterday, throughout the week. First off, Brad Holmes was criticized by an unnamed general manager, and then a lot of people jumped on it that hate Brad Holmes or think he's not good. And see, well, come to find out, it was the Packers general manager. The guy whom we jumped to get Brian Branch last year. We jumped to get Terry and Arnold this year. The guy is salty as a mug. I don't know. I've never really seen anything like this in sports where general managers, generally speaking, are friends with each other. They have good relationships. But this guy is just, he's having a lot of salt over there. It's crazy. It's not like the Green Bay Packers are a terrible organization. They've been doing this for a long time. Brett Favre, Aaron Rodgers, they got Jordan Love. So, what are you hating about? Let us have our time. It's our time, right? We've been under the rock, for years. For 70-some years. It's our time. Don't get hating that we finally got competition here in Detroit. But, yeah. I don't ever take any credence when it's anonymous general manager because generally speaking, it could just be a hater. To come to find out, it's the Packers. What we think? Hater. Hashtag salty. That is a great hashtag, Run TMG, by the way. And I want everyone to do that. Hashtag salty because that's what they are right now. Look, You think it's arrogance to trade up to give up a third-round pick even though every single team trades? Like, come on, man. Like, stop pointing you got to look in the mirror before you criticize us. Like, every team does that, so that's just really dumb. That is just a dumb statement, for sure. And I just think I think it's absolutely hilarious. I just you don't see any other really team doing this, right? You don't see even the Bears or anything like that. They're focused on their team, as those general managers should be focused on their team. They need to be focused on what they're doing. We generally don't speak a whole lot about other teams in the NFC North. Generally speaking, we talk about ours predominantly most of the time, and we're focused on that. We're focused on what we're going to do and how we build our roster and what Brad Holmes is doing. That's not the case over there in Green Bay. And the NFL draft is going to be in Green Bay, and I can guarantee you there's going to be a lot of boos when the Lions pick at 32, and that's going to be glorious. I don't know if the Lions are going to win the Super Bowl. I'm just saying, I would love it. I would love it. Living rent-free, yeah. Look, when people talk about you 24/7, and they continually diss you, it's because they're not confident in themselves, and they're salty. That's really it. For how those people asked. And we got to talk about, too, Aaron Glenn, and this came up last week, I think, or was it on Tuesday? It was the idea of, first off, speakeasies defend the Glenn, and I'm more impartial on it. I need to see results, right, from this defense, and they're showing some good results at the end of the year last year, specifically when they put Ifutu Melifonwu in there and Kindle Vildor over Jerry Jacobs. The defense did get better, and it showed improvements. Now, our secondary this year should be vastly improved from what it was last year. It was our worst group in this football team, and now it's one of the better groups, right? Terrion Arnold, Ennis Rakestraw, Carlton Davis, Amik Robertson, Emmanuel Mosley. That's a pretty deep group now. So I do think that the secondary will vastly improve. Will we get pressure? We get pressure on the quarterback. It's going to make this defense look a lot better, and that's what Aaron Glenn's got to do. This up-and-coming training camp is figure out how he's going to use his players and get this defense to be a top 16 defense but you got to be a top 16. And look, I think he can do it. I'm not saying he can't do it at all. I believe he can do it. I believe this defense can take a significant step forward, but it has to happen this year, right? It has to happen. Like, we got to take a significant jump. We can't be in the 20s or in the 30s defensively. We have to be top 16. Do you guys agree with me? I think it's going to get there, right? I think Glenn will get this defense going. I do. That's my personal belief. But it has to. Our expectations should be this. We expect our offense to be a top 3 offense every year. We expect our special teams pretty damn good every year, and we're probably going to get Jake Bates here soon, and now our special teams could be a top 5 unit. Now it is time for that defense to take a significant jump. If you're wanting to really be a Super Bowl contender, this defense has got to take the next step. But he's got the tools. He does have the tools. I'm happy with the linebacker group. They're solid. I'm really happy with the safety group. They're solid. I'm really happy with the cornerback room. They're solid. Can this defensive line, other than Aiden Hutchinson and Aleem McNeil, get pressure? That's what we're going to... And look, if they could get pressure, this defense is going to be really good. It could go up to the top 10, because if you look at all the DBs that the Lions have, they're turnover machines. Kirby Joseph, turnovers all the time. Brian Branch, turnovers all the time. Terrion Arnold, 5 interceptions last year. Carlton Day, these guys are turnover machines, so this defense really could take a step forward. We just got to see. And I agree with everyone right here, right? You got 16 or above overall is where it needs to be. I agree with you, James, 100%. Major resources have been spent. I agree, Big M. Excited for the schedule. I am very excited. We can talk about that in a minute. You all, and Elisa De Lorenzo up there and agreeing as well. So I think a lot of us are in the same boat here. This defense has got to step up. We support, and we hope it works out the best we can. We also hope to get up to 50 likes, and that's about 26 away right now. Go ahead and smash that like button. Again, I'm going to be on 96.1 FM, The Huge Show on radio, ESPN Sports Radio, at 3 o'clock to, I think it's 3 to about 5 o'clock. I think that's what it is. I haven't really seen it. We will be live on the radio station to talk all things Detroit Lions. And if you don't live in West Michigan, go ahead and just do Huge Show. You search it, and it will pop up live. Just like if you listen to 97 Won the Ticket and you don't live in the Detroit area, it's the same thing here. So talk about the Aaron Glenn. Could we get some more pass rushers on this team? Could the Lions look to sign some more players? I think they should at least get one more pass rusher. They may want to wait though for training camp just to see, can Betts come in here and do something? Is Davenport really what they thought he was? So I'm sure they'll wait a little bit, but man, I would love for this edge position to just have one more player. There is success and opportunities. Thank you, Sloanheads. Appreciate you. And without you guys, there would have never been this, right? It would not be here. So it's all about you. And there you go. He is pinning that right now, and that's Dragon Fan. Thank you so much. And I'm gonna pin it right there. That's the Huge Show for later today. So if you want more Lions, we're gonna be live on the Huge Show. Yeah, so I think we'd like to get some more edges. They don't have to, obviously. They're better. Like Brad Holmes and Dan Campbell, they are superior knowledge to football than me. That's just what I would like to see. And no disrespect there. So I think the Lions roster is the best in the NFC. Again, it's not a ripping, right? I do think that this is the best roster right now in the NFC. I still think that the Baltimore Ravens got a good damn roster too. 49ers got a good damn roster. Lions got a good roster, right? There's other teams that are starting to come up that got pretty good rosters, but we're good. A lot of upside. Joshua Pascal Sloan, yeah, he's in there, right? You got Joshua Pascal. Could this be the year that he really takes that next step and, kind of blows up like Derek Barnes did? Or a Futu Melifonwu? Look, if Joshua Pascal can do that, that would be absolutely amazing. If he can come in here and take that next step, we would be great. I would love for Joshua Pascal to do it. Yes, Goff extension is coming. We talked about that in the beginning of the show, and it's a priority for the Detroit Lions. A lot of people said, oh, well, we're not going to. Yeah, we're going to go ahead and sign him. Absolutely, we're going to go ahead and sign him. The Lions did sign a defensive tackle, Liko. I made a video already. I don't expect a whole lot from him. Pico, he probably doesn't even make the roster, so I'm not putting a whole lot of, this guy is a game changer, so I'm not going to do that. That's not the case. And then we signed C.J. Moore as well. I know a lot of people are I don't know why people are upset about it. He made a mistake with gambling. I think that everyone deserves a second chance, pretty much on everything. It's not like he beat up his girlfriend or raped, or I can't use that word. All right, cut that out. To bape somebody, he didn't do anything of that nature. Right, he gambled, and so, okay, he lost the whole season last year, right? He lost his whole season, so that's a pretty big consequence for gambling. So I'm fine with him being back here. I don't think making a mistake makes you not a Brad Holmes guy. Nobody's perfect. Folks, if we look at ourselves and we start pointing the finger to C.J. Moore and he should never be in the NFL, and this guy is bad, we need to point at ourselves too, because I could tell you what, I did a lot worse crap when I was younger than C.J. Moore ever did. And if I was to be judged on the crap that I did when I was a youngin', I would be homeless, right? So everybody deserves a second chance, and that's just the way it is. And I do believe in that. Yeah, he didn't grab somebody in the neck or anything like that, right? So I wish him the best. He's a good special teams player, so that's going to really make fourth down interesting because he's better than Jalen Reeves-Maben, right? This guy could actually get the football and make some decent yards. So I'm pretty excited for that, and I do think he makes the team. Now, adding C.J. Moore is not just a special teamer. I think he's going to take that spot at safety. They were all talking about getting a veteran in there, and I don't think they're probably going to add any more. Now, I did make a video that's set for tomorrow about potential players the Lions could add, and I did use the safety position, but I'm going to keep it 100 with you personally. When I look at what Brad Holmes and Dan Campbell are doing, I don't think that's the case. I don't think we're going to get a Justin Simmons or a Quandre Diggs, any of that nature. I think that C.J. Moore is probably who they wanted. And honestly, that's probably all we really needed because I do trust Futu Melifonwu and Kirby Joseph and Brian Branch. I do. I think these guys are going to be great this year. I'm really excited for Iffy. I'm really excited. I don't think what we saw from him at the end of the year was was an anomaly. I don't. Because when I listen to him speak in an interview after the season, he just talked about how it finally came together and he doesn't have to think anymore and he's reacting. Now, if you ever played the game of football, when you get to that point, that's when you really get good. Like when you're making plays and you're doing a really good job because you're not thinking, you're reacting. Now, I played only in high school. I didn't play in college or in the NFL, but I'm going to assume that split second of lack of thinking makes you make those big plays. You know, the NFL is a game of yards and inches and seconds. And so those seconds can be the difference between an interception and not, between a tackle and a free wide receiver running down the route. So I'm really excited for what he's doing, and he's got the size and speed. So when he does the sacks and they do the safety blitz, that's not going to change, right? He's still fast. So I am really happy with their safety position. Vaki, too, he has a little bit of safety, and C.J. Moore. So I think they're good at the safety position. Really excited for Futu Melifonwu. Look, I think the sky's the limit for this guy. I loved him coming out of college. I loved him coming out of college, and I think this guy could be an all-pro type of player for this defense. He was showing it last year, folks, in the playoffs and in the last couple of weeks of the regular season, 4 or 5 weeks. He was lighting it on fire, and it just kept going that way. It didn't stop. I'm pretty happy at the safety position because I know we have Iffy, and the depth is pretty good there. Wide receivers, you could look to get a wide receiver. Again, I honestly think they're just going to stay with what they have unless something in free agency doesn't work out. But I do think they're just going to stay with what they got. But you got Hunt for Renfro. You got Michael Thomas and Allen Robinson still out there for free agency. And it's Futu Melifonwu. That's how you say his name, right? I'm pretty sure that's how it is say his name. But when I look at the wide receivers, they're probably going to look at Isaiah Williams and Antoine Green as those guys, right? But if they suck or if there's an injury, they could look to sign somebody else. I think they're good there, in all honesty. I think they're good. They could do it, but I think they're good. I do believe Donovan Peoples-Jones is going to take that next step. I had him as a player who I think could, have not a bounce back year, but take a big role, right? Because he just got here last year, and he actually was catching stuff quickly with Jared Goff, and generally speaking, it takes a little bit of time. Now he's got all training camp, mini camp, and I'm sure he's been with Jared Goff this offseason, so he's going to get on the same page. Oh, I call him Iffy, or pronounce Iffy. Well, okay, yeah, that's his name, Futu Melifonwu. It's because I liked him. I always liked him in college, and when the Lions got him, I was really happy. And so, you're getting a player you like. So Iffy is good, man. He's a good player. And so I think they're good with the wide receivers as well. If they do signings, I do think before a mini camp or training camp, it's camp bodies. Right now, that's my personal belief. It's just going to be camp bodies. Nothing spectacular. We're not going to get some big move or anything like that. They're going to let these undrafted rookies get it done for this football team, and that's kind of what I believe they're going to get doing here. I do got a video dropping tomorrow. I don't know what time it's going to drop, maybe 10:30 in the morning or something like that. You'll get a little bit more into that. it will get more into. A lot of people say, if Lions are going to extend Jared Goff, then we need to, go ahead and give away Hendon Hooker. And I think that's a terrible idea. First off, Hendon Hooker is a cheap backup. I'm going to keep saying this. And he's a cheap, great backup. And in preseason, you're all going to be able to see what Hendon Hooker can do if you watched him play. He's a really good quarterback. He would have been a first rounder if he wasn't injured. So we got a good guy who's going to be a backup quarterback to Jared Goff, and I am fine with that. He's cheap, and if Goff goes down, I know he can come in here and continue this offense. I'm not saying you're going to win every game or anything like that, but he's going to give you a much better chance to win than a lot of backups in the NFL. So you keep the cheap backup. That's what you do. Hendon Hooker, he'll be staying here. He's a good player. Very good. Teddy Bridgewater, I don't know if you guys seen the video of him coaching the high school. Looks like he's going to be a great coach. And I wish Teddy Bridgewater nothing but the best, having fun with these youngins and getting these guys, to be good for their season. So cool right there. NFL schedule is coming up, and I think it's next week on the 15th. So, in 6 days? The NFL schedule is coming up. I think we'll be alive for it. I'm thinking that's what we're going to do here. If we're going to be live for it, I'll make a video right about it. One of the games that I'm looking forward to on this schedule is the number one game, and I'm sure a lot of you will disagree. You might see other games, but for me, the one game I am looking absolutely forward to is Lions versus Dallas Cowboys. I want that revenge factor, that 2-point conversion, Taylor Decker eligible. That really made me mad, to which I want to get revenge on this game. So that's the game I'm looking forward to. Only sucks it's in Dallas, because every time we play in Dallas, it seems like there is a controversial call that is done by the referees. But that is my number one. San Francisco is my number two. I agree with you, Big M. San Francisco losing the NFC Championship game. With that said, the reason I don't have so much hate towards them in comparison to Dallas is there wasn't really any bad calls, right? It was just we started great, then we gave it up. So I'm looking for the Lions to get revenge in that game. I think a lot of people are. I think a lot of people want to get that taste out of their mouth with the loss. 3 is obviously Stafford and Goff. Stafford's coming back. I want to beat Matthew Stafford again, and I want to hear the crowd chant Jared Goff all day long during that game, or all night long, because I think these games here are probably going to be in prime time. Sunday night football, Monday night football. That's probably where it's going to be, right? And then I want to face the Green Bay Packers as well. There'd be number 4 on my list, because their general manager been talking a lot of garbage, and I'm tired of this guy talking garbage, and so I'd like to get revenge there. Also, like for the likes to get to 50. We're 12 away right now. Go ahead and smash that like button. We're at 38. Let's get to 50 with 137 in the building. We're going to get to QA here in about 4 minutes. So if you like the mailbag segment and you want your questions answered, that's what we're going to do here very shortly. And the next game I would like to face is Seattle Seahawks. Can we beat this team? We have been getting they've been beating us all the time. We need to beat these guys. Let's beat them. Let's get this freaking game and show these guys that we can finally beat these Seattle Seahawks. So I like to beat them, and you obviously, I honestly don't got a lot of hate towards Chicago. I know a lot of the fans has been doing a lot of talking, but that's really about it. So I'd like to face the Bears just because the fans talking. Other than that, it's not like their general manager is ripping on ours like the Green Bay Packers or anything like that. And they've kind of been in the low spot for some time, so it's not that big of a deal. And their quarterback, right? It's not Justin Fields, so we don't even really kind of know how this is going to play out. But I definitely want to beat the Seattle Seahawks, no doubt. If you got questions, throw it in the comment section right now. With the new Kings of the North. Yeah, by Chat Sports, should we email the Packers? Yes, we should. That's what you absolutely should do. I don't know what the problem with these guys are, man. Just worry about your own team. It's weird. It's kind of like it's like high school drama or something because not a lot of people really think like that. And he's saying that with Pete Carroll gone, we can beat them now. That would be, I hope so. We got to beat this guy. We got to beat Seattle, man. We got to beat these guys. He said Caleb is Jay Cutler 2.0. Jay Cutler was, he never really cared about, like, it seems like he never cared about anything. He is super relaxed, and Caleb thinks he's the greatest thing since sliced bread. Run DMG Salty, how many primetime games do you think that we get? My guess is 4+. I'm going to do 5. I think they'll get 5 primetime games, including the Thanksgiving Day game. That's my thought process when I'm looking at this. See, do you believe that the Lions will get a Super Bowl game this year? Will get a Super Bowl? You mean be in the Super Bowl? Yeah, I think they do, and I think the expectations for the Lions is to get to a Super Bowl. You get to an NFC Championship last year, you upgrade the roster, and now it's the Super Bowl, right? That's the only as far as you can go. That's the next step, is get to a Super Bowl, and that's what we want. NFC Championship game, win that bad boy, get to a Super Bowl, and go from there and win that bad boy. Will Terrian start? Terrian Arnold, I do believe will start. Yes, I do. I think on the depth chart he's actually listed as a starter right now too. Yeah. You get Terrian Arnold, him, Carlton Davis, and Amik Robinson's probably going to be your starting cornerbacks. And then Brian Branch will get, he'll be safety and nickel in different packages. He'll be on the field all at one time. So yeah, Terrian is going to start in my opinion. Arnold, defensive rookie of the year. That's what you potentially think. I don't know, man. It's going to be Jared Verse could be up there. I think he was a good pickup. He absolutely could be defensive rookie of the year. I think you can absolutely put Arnold in there. It's going to be interesting about defensive rookie of the year because defense wasn't really early in the draft. So maybe a lot of people think that there's not going to be that many good defensive talent, but him, you could put in there the Toledo Torpedo. You can put in there. There's a couple guys, but I would like to. He says Super Bowl is coming. I absolutely hope it is coming. We need to get a Super Bowl. It is our time to get one. It is our time. We're a team that's never even been to a Super Bowl, so let's get to this bad boy. Let's go in and win it. If you got one rookie's jersey, which one are you getting? If I'm getting one rookie's jersey, oh, man, that's a tough one. I would probably go Arnold just because he's going to stay on the team longer. When you generally draft a player, or you trade up and get him, he's generally going to be on the team a little bit longer, right? Because you invested that. So I'd probably go with him just because of longevity. I do like Ennis Rakestraw. Good, they had some good drafts, but that's probably the one I'd go with. Let's see, Terrian Arnold. Let's see. I feel like we're the best team in the NFL right now, and I'll say that. You know what? If you say that, it's not out of the realm of crazy. It's really not. Kansas City Chiefs. Look, dude, I think we could have beat Kansas City in the Super Bowl. We beat them week 1. Why couldn't we beat them in the Super Bowl? San Francisco and Baltimore Ravens, they're right there as well. And, yeah, Baltimore, but they lost in the playoffs. And then the Lions, we lost to them, and then we lost to San Francisco, but it's close. So if you think that the Lions are number 1, it's not that big of out of the realm of craziness. Let's see, any updates on rookie numbers? I'm wondering, I haven't heard anything about rookie numbers. I have no idea about that, so unfortunately, I haven't heard anything nor read anything about it. It's probably not out as of yet. So then you can get your jersey of your favorite player when it does come out, instead of just getting a number 1 or something like that. They get the number. Let's see. I saw a rookie cornerback winning defensive rookie years. Is said than done, Mike. I know. Yeah, it's going to be difficult. But the problem shift here is there's not like this draft was weird, right? So it was a bunch of defensive players went after 15. So it's not like there was like this stud guy like a Nick Bosa or an Aiden Hutchinson or a player that you're looking at, like, this guy is the certified stud, you know. Chase Young that rookie year. It's not like that this year. So you're right. Cornerback is difficult, but Sauce Gardner did it just literally the Aiden Hutchinson year. So can Tyrion do it? We shall see. So the Lions have to go out to Arlington and blow out the Cowboys. And I'll come down to a touchdown and field goal, then expect the refs to cheat us again. I'll lose it. I think there'd be riots if that occurred. If they got cheated out again. Jeez. Riots. Riots in the streets, folks. Sorry about that. Got something in my throat. Surprised Quinn Young dropped so low. I was surprised at just how all of the defense went. It was weird. It was a weird draft, and I love it because we didn't need offense. So it was the perfect year for something weird like that to occur. Wingo, I do like Wingo. I think he can play edge and interior. I think that he is going to have an opportunity to actually be on the field this year. Can he do it? Can he do it? I think he can. I think you're going to see him do well. It's a player that can get to the quarterback. More of a pass rushing. He's be situational. He's more of a Lee McNeil type. DJ Reader's going to be on the field quite a bit. So it depends where they put him on the defensive line. He can play inside and outside. I like it. I like the pick, but I just don't know how much he's going to produce. But I think he'll get some, and more than Broderick Martin, that's for sure. I think he'll definitely be more than Broderick Martin. A rookie year. I don't know about this year. Have you been watching the Michigan Panthers? No, I have not. I've just seen the kicks of Jake Bates. That's it. But I have not watched UFL. I got to keep it 100. When the NFL season's over, I take a nice little break of watching football and sports because we, as content creators, we don't just watch the Detroit Lions, but you watch all of football and you're ready for a break. But then when training camp hits, you're fiending for it, and you're ready for preseason, and you're ready for the regular season, so it all comes again. So I take a little bit of break there. And we watch college for prospects, so it's a lot of football. And you might think that's just the greatest thing ever, but after about, doing this about 6-7 weeks into the season, you're like, woof, okay. Yeah. Then when the season is over, especially the season that we had, a long season because of the playoffs, you're like, yeah, nice little break. We're going to take a little bit of break, and so I don't watch the UFL, just seeing Jake Bates. That is really it. If you got questions, put it in the comment section right now. That's all about is we're getting your question answered. And a question popped up on here, but is yet to pop up on my thing here. Finally got it. It's from Rich B. Grooven. Do you think that Rakestraw will be a shutdown corner? Ooh. A shutdown corner? No. A good corner? Yeah. Shutdown, there's a rarity in shutdown corners. So shutdown, no. Good one, yeah. I think that will be it. And what's good about Rakestraw is he doesn't have to play right away, right? You got Carlton Davis and Meek Robertson and Terrion Arnold, so he can develop. So when he's on the field, he's probably going to be in positions to succeed. They're good at development. Content creators, a tough job. You do it well, Mike. We'll appreciate you, man. Well, it's just you got to have some thick skin, right, to be a content creator, and you got to take a lot of time and look at prospects. That's the most, is prospects. Prospects. The draft. Trust, that's what everybody wants to know about. Mike, if Arnold wasn't available, but Wiggins, Kool-Aid, and Mitchell were, and the Mitchell? Oh, I'm taking Quinn Young Mitchell. I would take Quinn Young Mitchell. Look, he was probably my number one. Arnold was 1 and 2. Like, they were both like right there. They're a little bit different, but Quinn Young Mitchell's a really good one. And after that, I'd probably go with Wiggins. I like his size. I like the higher size corner, 6'2". And Kool-Aid would probably be 3 there, but he's still a good player. Salty. Who would be the surprise cut? Oh, great question right there. Surprise cut. I'll go with the Levi Onwuzurike. I'm not sure if that's going to be a surprise cut, though. But again, you got Broderick Martin, you get Wingo, and DJ Reader. It's going to push somebody out. I think Levi Onwuzurike is going to be that guy. John Kaminsky, what's good about Kaminsky, even though he had a down year last year, is he can play on all parts of the defensive line. and he doesn't have a injury history. So I think Kaminsky, now that would be a surprise, right? I would have Levi above him. So I think he's good this year. I think he's good, Kaminsky, but he better produce a little bit more than what he did last year, because we expected more from him and he just did not do it. Lee, another question here. Mike, feel like a lot of Lions fans are sleeping on Meek Robertson. He reminds me a lot of Tyrann Mathieu, smaller guy that loves to tackle and is a ball hawk. I think he's just, there's been so many names, Antonio Jenkins, that we've got new to the secondary, so that he's probably one of those guys that you can talk about much, but you're right, man. Amik Robertson's a good nickel corner, and I'm excited. He could play outside, too, so I think he'll do a good job, and it's just wonder how they're going to put him, Brian Branch, because there's a lot of, we have players that could play nickel quite a bit, and we use players in different roles defensively, so I agree. I think he's a good corner. I like the signing. I really did. I thought it was a good signing for the Lions. I like Amik Robertson. You got to have a good nickel corner is important to have now. It's not like teams are more about wide receivers. When you have a bunch of wide receivers, you got to get these corners out there. You got someone who you got to have and that's why they doubled up on corner. Is you look at the NFL receivers now. I mean, shoot, just in the NFC North itself, it was getting upgraded. That's why they did it. That's why they completely upgraded, man. Because if you don't match up with wide receivers, you're gonna lose in the NFL now. This is a passing league, and it really is, especially with the new rules making it where you can't do this type of tackle and that type of tackle. So yeah, I'm real excited to see what he can do this year. I'm excited about the cornerback group as a whole, and I'm happy they completely revamped it and needed it badly. I know we needed an edge, but you didn't hear me whine we got Ennis Rakestraw, because I knew exactly this defense secondary was booty cheeks. It was freaking bad. Amik the Freak, I like that name. Lions are playing here in Arizona this season, so I'm looking forward to going to that game, whatever it is. Oh, that's going to be awesome. Yeah, for sure, man. And that's good for Raw Podcast as well. He lives in Arizona, Arizona Cardinals. He lives close to there. So if you're in Arizona, yes, that's awesome, man. That's awesome. Let's see. Are you concerned of potential production or lack thereof of the wide receiver room? Not right now, Craig Hoggs. I do trust what we have right now, and I expect Donovan Peoples-Jones to step up, and I think Isaiah Williams could be a sleeper. So I'm not too worried. Antoine Green, I trust Brad Holmes. They know what they do offensively, and Ben Johnson is very smart when it comes to scheming people in the right spot. So I think they're going to give Jameson Williams production will go up, and Donovan Peoples-Jones production will go up, and also Jahmyr Gibbs. They're going to take that Josh Reynolds spot and do good. And I do trust the development of these players. Would I have liked Josh Reynolds? Yeah, of course. I liked him here. But I trust Dan Campbell, Brad Holmes, and Ben Johnson to get this thing right. I do. So I'm not too overly concerned about it. We have 9 home games. Yes, we have 9 this year. We have an extra home game because last year we had an extra road game. So do you think that Donovan Peoples-Jones is going to have a lot of productivity? I think he's going to get quite a bit of productivity, maybe like 500 yards receiving, 400 yards. And you said that's not a lot, but it's a lot more than what he had last year. And I think Jameson Williams is going to get a couple hundred yards as well, and they'll make up for the lack of Josh Reynolds. So yeah, I think a lot of people kind of sleeping on Donovan Peoples-Jones. I like what he can do outside wide receiver, contested catches. He's a big body, and he knows how to get open. Remember, his last quarterbacks was Deshaun Watson, who was not doing good in Cleveland, and Baker Mayfield, who's not as good as Jared Goff. So I think he's going to a better situation here. He's 25 years old. The guy he's a youngin', man. Have you seen Isaiah Williams highlights? Yes, I have. And he kind of reminds me of is a Quintez Cephas type of player, right? He's not the fastest guy in the world. He's not fast. He's not the biggest guy in the world. It's like a Khalif Raymond size, right? But this guy is an excellent route runner. And who's an excellent route runner on our team? Who doesn't have big size. He's not the fastest guy on the planet, but makes play after play after play. The guy who we just paid big money to, Amon-Ra St. Brown. That's why he went in the 4th round. Isaiah Williams was supposed to probably be around a 5th or a 6th round pick, but he fell because he's a small guy. He fell because he's not the fastest guy in the world. But I tell you what, if he's an excellent route runner, he can make up for it. And he is going to be with an Amon-Ra St. Brown, and I can guarantee you he's gonna learn from him and his work ethic, so it's going to give him a chance. So yeah, he had great highlights in college. Hopefully he can continue to do that in the NFL in preseason and in training camp, because he could be a player the Lions legitimately, have to help this football team out. The reason I'm getting off a little bit early is I got to drive to Grand Rapids, folks. And so I'm going to get off right now as I'm getting ready for the huge show. We're going to be live at 3 to, I think it's to 5, so it's a couple hours over there. So hit me up on the huge show. It's the Pinned Comet, and if you live in West Michigan, 97 or 96.1 FM. With that said, folks, hope you hear me on the radio in a little bit.
Searching for greatness in a sea of the dying and shameless, a sea of the aimless. I don't wanna be one of